Well, YouTube, we finally meet each other face to face. You know, I've been making videos a little bit off and on for the past 2 years, and different things have happened in my life that have kind of slowed this progression with the channel. But I think it's finally time for me to really show my face and show you guys who I am. Now, for you guys who don't know, I'm from the Wisconsin area, grew up here, played baseball in different places around the country, but mostly am originally from here and played here. So today's video, and I'm hoping that it isn't too loud with the background noise right now. I do have a highway directly behind my house, so that kind of sucks for this. But I'm going to try and get some of that audio out of here. So I thought this video would be one that would be kind of fun for us to connect a little bit more. I'm going to show you guys some of my secrets here that I used throughout my high school and a little bit of my collegiate career on really how I cheated my way up. Now, I know that sounds awful. We shouldn't be cheating in high school, collegiate sports, or anything of that nature. But hear me out as I go through this video, because I think you'll understand a little bit more. This is all with kind of a grain of salt here. So if you grew up playing high school baseball in Wisconsin, you played in one of two leagues. You either played in one, the summer baseball league, or two, the spring ball league. Luckily for me, I got to play in the summer ball league growing up. So I didn't have to worry about, cold bats, snow sometimes, 30-degree weather, just absolutely awful conditions to be playing in Wisconsin. And especially considering that is their in-season time to play. So what that meant for me was that my spring ball time was generally played for smaller showcases and different tournaments as well as fall. That's when we played with our travel teams. For a Wisconsin player, generally the most exposure you would see would be in the fall because you'd be down south playing some of the bigger PG, PBR tournaments. Where in the spring, it was generally for some of the smaller tournaments in the area because we weren't going to try and travel too much during that time period right before the season. It also meant you're getting ready to go in season, so a lot of our arms weren't fully warmed up. You're not topping your 90 or 92. Most of those guys are sitting in mid-80s, high 80s, getting ready for their regular season. Then going into fall, you should be peaking in front of scouts down south. So what I'm getting at here is, if you're a pitcher, and you do have some scouts here, in the Midwest. Let's say you're looking at like NIU, Illinois State, some of the smaller D1s in the area, UIC is another one. And they're at one of your showcases or tournaments, you still want to play well, but you're probably not going to play as well as maybe when it's 80 degrees in August. However, something to keep in mind here is that depending how well you did in some of those early spring tournaments would determine where you end up playing in fall, especially in the early 2010s, the PBR, PG tournaments. Because a lot of those southern teams will be playing during the summer for their travel ball league going into fall, where we have that split in between where we're playing regular in-season high school ball during the summer. You have that split. So our placements in spring matter much more going into fall, where we want to be in those big tournaments to get the bigger scouts and more exposure. So as a high school pitcher playing in sometimes 30, 40-degree weather with even rain or snow sometimes, getting a grip on a solid frozen baseball can be absolutely impossible. And you have to remember, this is high school travel ball in the Midwest. We're not talking about college or semi-pro ball. There is no rosin bag to be found in the games you're playing. So as someone like myself, where I'm already an erratic pitcher generally growing up, especially after my Tommy John surgery, I struggle with accuracy, and now I have a frozen ball I can barely grip, and I'm primarily just trying to pound fastballs and get strikes. So how do we do that? Well, we cheat. So I have my old college baseball glove here, just because I don't have my old high school one on me. But as you can see, hopefully we can get a decent view of this. Not great lighting here. Here's the palm of my glove. If we can get a good angle in there, you see there's a lot of roughness in here. I mean, obviously you have the logo, but there is clearly some remnants of something in there. What we would generally do is you use pine tar. Now, I'm not talking about the liquid pine tar. That is way too messy and really doesn't help you out too much. I'm talking about those tiger sticks, the spray, and all that good stuff. What we would do is we'd place it on the inside of our glove right here. And what you do is when you're up there, get the ball, you turn around, you're walking back away from the ump. Just put your hand in here, finger, get a little touch, wipe it a little bit on your pants, just so it's not too sticky, and get a decent grip on that baseball. Despite what anyone says in terms of spin rates and all this other stuff, the pine tar we used, it was simply to really be more accurate. We were not trying to hit someone in 30-degree weather with an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. That is how you'd really piss off the other team. My main focus was always just making sure that my index finger and middle finger had a little bit on it near the middle of it, so I was able to control my run a little bit better. Because sometimes, especially in the cold, when you're releasing that baseball, it is going to slip to the right, and your run, if you have run like I did, it is going to run like 8 inches into the batter. All right, as you can see, we had to move to the office. It was a little bit too loud out there, so now we're back here. And just for jokes, I'm obviously wearing the Shohei Ohtani jersey just because, the whole controversy going on right now. But in terms of like sticky stuff and pitch altering substances, yeah, you like Spider Tech Vaseline and all that good stuff. But personally, I never used anything like that, and I actually don't think anyone on my team ever really did. You have to remember, this was back in like 2012 to 2015. Spin rates really weren't too much of a thing back then. TrackMan wasn't that big. It was more so Jugs and Stalker were the radar guns mostly used. So yes, technically I did cheat in travel ball and showcases, but to be fair, I never used it in Summer League because there's no need to. It's always warm enough. Now, for the second way, I cheated in high school and college baseball. So for those of you who grew up in anywhere from 2008 to like 2014 and were really into working out, I'm sure you've heard of Jack 3D or Jacked. It was a very popular pre-workout that featured one very sketchy substance. And that substance would be 1,3-dimethylamine, also known as DMAA. For those of you who haven't taken something like that, it is basically like, I'm not going to use the word for it because I don't want to get banned on YouTube or shadow banned or demonetized. But there's a certain prescription that is given out to those like me who have ADHD that struggle with focus. And this product would feature similar effects as that because it would give you hyper focus, high heart rates, just high energy in general. And I'm sure you guys have seen different pitchers, chug a Red Bull or a Monster, an energy drink right before they start to get hyped up, especially closers like myself. But Red Bull and Monster simply were not enough. The 1,3-dimethylamine in these pre-workouts gave you just something different, man. It was truly a different type of focus where if you were trying to hit the bottom left corner of the zone with a fastball, you're guaranteed to just be able to not necessarily do it, but really focus on that. You're not going to lose the intention as well as you'd be hyped up just chucking that ball. So throughout 99% of my career, I'd use a pre-workout before I pitched. Most of them would be like this Mesomorph here, where it would feature DMHA, a predecessor of 1,3-DMAA, because DMAA did get banned and pulled from shelves. To this day, DMHA is still available for sale at some supplement shops, but a little bit restricted state by state, and it is certainly not legal in NCAA, NJCAA, or high school ball. Now, once again, this isn't a or anything of that nature. It's just a hyper-focused supplement that certainly shouldn't be used by high school athletes or college, in my opinion. Main reasons can certainly cause health complications down the line, such as heart palpitations, increased heart rate, high blood pressure, and many others. So no, you should never use a DMHA or DMA pre-workout while playing. But yes, that's the second way that I cheated throughout high school and college ball as it felt beneficial towards me. However, looking back at it is a very stupid idea, and I'm very lucky to not have health side effects going forward. And finally, we're on to the last way that I cheated throughout high school and college. So, for all of you that are in the current generation of high school and college baseball players, you probably never used a BESR bat. But for someone like me, who started high school in 2012, I was the first generation to use the actual BBCOR bats in high school. Because through early travel ball, Little League, rec, whatever you want to call it, we always used the BESR bats. These BESR bats were hot as can be. I remember I had the Combat B1 and I was hitting 250-foot shots as a 12-year-old. If you gave my 12-year-old self a BBCOR bat, guaranteed I'm struggling putting over a 200-foot fence. So then comes the question, how does this involve cheating or anything of that nature? Well, for my first showcase, many of us were going to non-PG showcase. We're talking about smaller showcases, just giving your stats as a freshman or sophomore. Many of us brought our old BESR bats to the showcase. So you'd see bats of the CF4, the Combat B2, let's see what else. You had like the Omaha. There were plenty of bats that didn't have the BBCOR sticker on them. But do you really think these smaller showcases are going to be checking every bat? Of course not. They have like 30 kids to get through, and it's just a small event with not that many employees. So I'm sure it was a little bit weird when you saw some of these freshmen posting exit velos 90 plus, and then they go in their sophomore year using a BBCOR and they're like 82, 83. But I'll tell you what, when it came to sending the actual info to different schools, scouting organizations, and all that good stuff, you better believe we were sending the BESR exit velos. We were not sending those early BBCOR ones. Because I'll tell you what, nowadays the BBCOR bats have certainly gotten a lot better. I remember swinging, I think it was like the DeMarini CF5, I believe, and it felt like absolute garbage. The Voodoo was okay, but I hated the CF5. It felt like I was swinging with like a stick. So yes, technically, my 15-year-old self cheated my numbers early on to get an advantage on some of the others. Now, did it go forward and pay any dividends? Absolutely not. I was a PO by my sophomore year, so it didn't really matter. And that's the 3 ways I cheated my way through high school and college baseball. So obviously none of that is crazy stuff by any means. Today there are still ways to cheat. I'm sure you guys have heard of like bat shaving. It's very popular in the softball community for men's league, that is. Of course, there are other ways of cheating that we will not talk about today. But in terms of what I did back in the day, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this face-to-face video, seeing my face for the first time on camera on this channel. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a comment. Maybe I'll do more in the future, like a story time type video. I'd definitely be open to doing it. But going forward, I'm looking to post at least twice per week now I'm back from Florida. Vacation was amazing, got to golf, fish, all that fun stuff. And now we're back in the cold, nasty Midwest. So keep a lookout for new videos. Hoping to do Monday, Friday. I'm hoping to do a what happened video once per week and maybe a draft video or something else later on Fridays. With that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And if you enjoy these types of videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel.